In this video, I will show you how to talk to motivated sellers to improve your conversion rate. So let's dive into it. First, let's talk about the rules you need to know when talking to motivated sellers. Rule 1, never guess an offer before running the numbers. So if you say an offer, just guess estimating the offer, and then that offer actually was way higher than what you should have offered, it will be really difficult to come in and be like, hey, the initial offer was wrong. It actually needs to be $50,000 less. They will be very disappointed and they will not trust you as much, right? So make sure you're not giving any guess, any estimate as an offer before you run the numbers and you're sure. Rule 2, do not call without a script and knowing the info you need to get from them, right? So don't call without knowing exactly what you need to get and your exact script, because you'll be all over the place, right? And you don't want to sound like you're all over the place when talking to a seller. You need to know exactly what you're asking for and all the details that you need to get from them. That's rule 2. Rule 3, listen and ask. When you're talking to a seller, initially your job is not to actually sell or negotiate. You're just trying to understand their pain point, their situation, and then by just listening and asking the right question, you will learn how to build the relationship with them correctly, because now you understand their situation and you understand their pain point. So make sure that you don't start talking, just ask the right questions and then they will tell you their pain point, and from there you'll be able to know how to negotiate with them. Rule 4, if they said that they don't want to sell right now and you know they have a specific pain point, that does not mean that they're never gonna sell, right? So ask them if they think they would be interested in the future and then follow up with them. A lot of the deals that you will close, it will not be a 1 call, 2 call closes, right? You might speak to someone right now and then follow up with them after 6 months and then you get the deal then, right? So make sure if you know someone have a specific pain point that you keep on following up with that seller, because that will enable you to maximize your revenue. Now, these are the rules that you need to know. Now, let's talk about the first call and what you need to know on that first call from the seller. First, you need to know if they want to sell, obviously, right? On that first call, you're just trying to check if they're interested in selling for a cash offer or not. You also need to know if they have a specific pain point and what is that pain point. Now, don't stick to surface level stuff. Try really to understand their pain point and why they have that pain point. Once you do that, you need to know the property details like the square footage, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, etc. And also you need to know the condition of the property in details and the overall condition. So the overall condition is basically, is it livable or not? And the condition in details is basically about the roof, for example, the structure of the property, the foundation, the plumbing, the kitchen, the bathroom, and so on. So you try to get as much details as you can about the condition to ensure that when you're doing your repairs estimate, it's actually accurate. And 5, you need to know what is their timeline to know their urgency level, right? So if someone tells you, hey, I need to sell it like ASAP, as soon as possible, so you know that they have a high level of urgency. But if someone told you, hey, I can actually wait 60 to 90 days, then you know their level of urgency is not as high. So understanding their timeline will help you understand what kind of offer they're expecting depending on their urgency level. You also need to know how much cash do they need to walk away with, not want to walk away with. So make sure that you frame the question correctly. And also you will need to know when they want to move out. Do they want to move out like right now before closing, or do they want some time after closing? Because any buyer that you will assign the deal to will ask you if the property will be vacant on closing or not. If not, how much time do they need, right? Now that is on the first call. Let's now discuss the second call, what you need to do or know. 1, you need to revisit the reason for selling. Basically, you're reminding them of their pain point and setting the frame of the call, right? That will help you down the line. 2, explain how smooth and fast your process is. Basically, explain how you will solve their pain point, right? 3, remind them with how much cash they said they need. Now, you do that only if the cash they actually said they need is very close to your offer. If it's very far, then you need to negotiate them down without saying your offer first, right? So you tell them, hey, you told me on the last phone call you need this much cash, and then you start negotiating them down before you even say your cash offer. So you don't want to say your cash offer and negotiate up. So make sure you're trying to negotiate them down to meet you at your cash offer or very, very close to it, right? Now, 4, after negotiating the cash offer they need as close as possible to your offer, then say your offer. So you say your offer at the end after trying to negotiate them down as close as possible to your cash offer. Now, why do we do this? You need the price they say to be as close as possible to your offer as then it will be easier to negotiate them down to your offer. So if they tell you, for example, I need 200,000 and your offer is 120, and then you just say 120 without negotiating them down from 200,000 to like 150 first, then it will be very difficult to give them that huge drop, right, of like $80,000. So what you need to do is actually, before you say to someone that is asking 200,000 that my offer is 120, you need to try and negotiate them down from like 200, for example, to 150, 140. Once they accept 150 and 140, and then you can come in, say your offer, and try to negotiate them down even to 120. So just by doing this and ensuring the number they're saying is as close as possible to the number you want, you will make your negotiations way easier. Now, what if they keep saying the ARV, the after repair value, or the market value? If they keep saying the market value and they don't want to give you any discount, then it's really not a good lead in the first place. In this case, just give the cash offer. Now, don't be scared, still give your cash offer, give it a shot, but most likely it will not be accepted. Now, as I said, do not be scared of saying your offer, even if it's way lower than they're asking, because it's not a big deal. They don't have to take your offer, right? You're just giving them a way out. They can take it or they can leave it. You're not forcing anyone to take anything, right? So that is really the whole thing. So as I said, just follow the same structure of call 1 and then follow the same structure on call 2, and make sure you know how to negotiate their price down before saying your offer. If you do all of this, it will be way easier to lock up deals under contract, and then you will be able to assign them and start making money with real estate wholesaling.